to Two Blondes and Their Bullies. I'm Summer.
Ashley. Nice to see everyone again. Get it? So thanks so much for joining us. We're really excited. We're gonna continue our journey through this podcast experience. And today's topic is gonna be the journey. How we got here. Like, what are we doing?
Exactly. How we ended up going down the rabbit hole of bulldogs.
Why
Right?
bulldogs?
Why bulldogs?
Why?
People ask me that all the time, right?
Why bulldogs?
Yeah, so we're pretty close in how we both kind of fell into it within a few years of each other. We both have funny stories.
Yeah, we've both been with bulldogs for about 20 years.
Easy. Yeah.
About 20-ish years, give or take. So it's definitely been a journey.
Oh, it's been a journey. So we just want to tell you a little bit about, what we've been through, because I think it's just going to be a way for you to understand us and why we feel these, podcasts are going to be so important at helping everybody. Obviously back in the day when I fell into this bulldog, my eldest son was graduating high school and he was leaving for college. And he came to me the entire year, actually, but towards the very end of when he was graduating and he knew he was getting ready to leave, he'd say, I really wanted a bulldog, Mom. I really wanted a bulldog and I'm leaving. You're gonna be lonely without me.
So he did this to you.
He did this to me. Right? And you know him.
All right.
He's very persuasive.
He can be.
Right. And he would every day, like he would look online. And of course, my very first bulldog came from a very, very bad pet shop here on Long Island that, we didn't know any better. How's that?
We were all young.
You too.
Young, dumb, and naive.
Right. And yeah. How about your first one?
My first bulldog
Brooklyn, right?
It's Brooklyn. Came from a breeder in Brooklyn. So that's how we got, at the time, honestly, like my husband and I were just getting married and we wanted a dog. Well, we couldn't agree on a dog. Why would anybody agree on something? So I wanted a little dog and he wanted a big dog. And I was like, okay, well.
I picked you with a little dog, by the way. I just want to let you know that.
I mean, Peaches is kind of little.
Well, because she's a mini, but I picked you.
I mean, it wasn't intentional. I really thought she was going to be big. But, we had to come up with a compromise. We also were living in an apartment at the time. And I grew up with boxers and I boxers are high energy and big dogs. Like my brother has one, my sister has one, and they're big dogs. And my husband loved like a pit bull and a husky, and I was like, well, maybe like a Maltese, maybe like a Shih Tzu, like something little,
a little fluffy.
Well, I was just really thinking like apartment. I want something big. Compact. And so the compromise was, you know what? We need a medium-sized dog. Not a big dog, not a little dog. Mm-hmm. Let's go with medium. So then we were like, let's look at what dogs are medium. Well, some of the dogs were medium. Like, first of all, my husband was like, I'm not walking around with that. Like, I can't be seen with like a little tiny dog. He was like, no.
Right.
So the compromise was this medium dog.
Mm-hmm.
And we stumbled upon a bulldog, and I was like, oh my God, they're so cute. Now, they're not for everybody. I get it. I've been told that's a face only a mother can love. And I was completely offended, in case you were wondering. Like, I was appalled. Like, I was like, what did you just say?
Right.
About my baby?
Right.
Like, I couldn't wrap my head around it. So anyway, yeah, this is how this all started. Like, it was like,
right.
And then we started researching the breed. There wasn't like a ton of information at that time.
Kind of like, because they become such a big breed that it's better. Like, we didn't know any better. Me too. I went to a terrible pet store here. And my son was looking everywhere and he called me. He's like, oh my God, bleep, bleep, just got in a whole bunch of dogs. Mom, there's bulldogs. Can we go get a bulldog? And he kept saying to my husband, he'd go, my husband Harold, he would say, please, oh please. And every day my husband would get into work and he would find an email from him with a picture of a bulldog and where the bulldog was. It was crazy. It was just every
I like his
single day.
persuasiveness.
Yeah. So we went and we walked into this pet store and he picked out this adorable little bulldog. And obviously, we just kind of, I stood there and he was just holding this dog. And I remember I called my husband, he wasn't with us, and he just was like, buy him the dog already. Like just get it. He's driving me insane.
I get
And
it.
there went, and of course, at the time when he wanted a dog, the dog's name was Drama. I don't know if you remember that
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
everyone was watching at that
MTV.
time.
Was that MTV? I think it was.
And he named the dog Drama, and that is the beginning of our
journey
with bulldogs. Yeah, and like I said, they aren't like potato chips. You can't have just one. And I think once you get into breed, so we just talked
Yeah.
about that, Ash. Remember what I was saying about there was nothing out there at the time.
There wasn't
Now
a
there's
ton of like
so much.
research. I
Right.
felt like I did some research and I was like, all right, they could have like some breathing problems. Okay, they can't do a ton of exercise, right? Like these were the things I was reading.
They're not
at the
hiking
time.
dogs.
Right. If you want a running dog, this is not the one. I will tell you,
Perfect for an apartment.
it was perfect for an apartment. I will tell you that back then I did go running sometimes and my bulldog did come with me.
That's really amazing.
She was on the smaller side, I think, of a bulldog. She was about 48 pounds. But she was very agile. My brother always says, I never saw a bulldog like her.
That's so
because she was like, we lived in an apartment and she had to do stairs. And he's like, I really think that kept her young for like so long.
Right. And your bulldog really, really lasted a really long time.
Yeah.
I mean, your bulldog died, she was what, like 12 or?
She was going to be 14.
Oh,
So
wow.
She was about
Yeah.
13. And
So,
like, yeah.
I
I mean, she had a good run.
Yeah.
I will say, like, knock on wood, she didn't really have a ton of health issues. She did have cherry eye. That was our biggest problem, honestly.
Right.
She had cherry eye.
That's another thing. You have to find the right doctor to fix that.
Super
right?
common in bulldogs. And it's just like, it's literally, I mean, now we know so much about it, but it's like they have a third eyelid and it slides out of place. It looks super ugly. Like it looks like there's a big, like there's a big cherry at the bottom of
and people always ask me, does that hurt? It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt.
We don't leave it because it just could affect their vision at some point, but we don't leave the cherry eyes. Just like we don't remove the cherry eye. We tuck them in and we repair them. I know a lot of people think they should take it out. We don't do that. But
because then you definitely have to use drops.
Right, you'll have dry eye for the rest of
their life. They have to have dry eye.
Right. So that was it. So she was a healthy dog and
she was pretty healthy. I mean, obviously, guys, young, dumb, and inexperienced, but we had the surgery done the first time at our regular vet and it popped right back out.
Yep.
And then we had surgery the second time at our regular vet and it popped back out. And then we went to an ophthalmologist and we paid more than we paid to buy her.
Sounds about right. But not all. Like we have a regular vet that has done that surgery. But you're right. Like they really have to know what they're doing. It's 100% right. And she never had any breathing issues either, right? Like
no.
She didn't need the Boas surgery or anything like that. So that's her first bulldog, and then after that, now she has two more. But our dog, unfortunately, he died very young. He got cancer at about 5. And it was utterly heartbreaking for both my son, who was done with school at that time and coming home, and he was finishing up.
How old was the dog?
The dog was 5 when we found out he had cancer.
Yeah, that's
and it was just one that he was gone within days.
Ugh.
We didn't know. It's the story behind it is like we think that we have a built-in pool and the kids were playing and he loved to run around the pool. We would let the kids open the fence as long as they were there, and he was running around like a crazy person. They were throwing balls, and then this was Sunday, and our dog was dead on Thursday.
Yeah,
That's how quickly
crazy.
it was, and that is what really started the rescue thing, because what happened was I myself, because remember I was home with this dog all along. Kids were in school. My eldest son, who wanted the dog, had gone off to college.
Yeah.
And I literally, this was my dog. Like, even though it was my son's dog,
Yeah.
I'm home, the dog would go, spend time in his room and sleep with him. But this was my dog, and I was crying, so I couldn't get myself out.
I get it.
I every day.
I get it.
And I remember my son, when I said something about, we should get another one. My eldest son was no, like he was not ready.
I had a similar situation.
Did not want another dog at all, and I would just every day I was crying, and a couple of days it went into a week, and then my husband finally said, "Listen, you're really struggling here. The kids will have to deal with a dog if you need to get a dog. I mean, let's go get one." And then that was my worst experience ever. I went to a terrible, terrible breeder in Queens who's since been shut down. The entire litter of dogs that I got a dog from, there were 2 survivors.
Oh God.
And they were shut down. By, I believe that the actual district attorney had come in because there were so many complaints.
Wow.
And our dog survived. It was a miracle, but and of course we named him Winston. We didn't know any better. It was Winston, was supposed to be an English bulldog, and not a lot of originality with that name. But his
you picked a good
first week we had him, it was probably cost us over $10,000. He was so sick. And I was at an emergency clinic one night, it was about 12 at night, and this woman came up to me that worked there and said, "You should get into rescue. I just see you rescuing these dogs." There you go. So then after Brooklyn, that's how we met.
That was a little bit. Oh,
That's
sorry.
This is Peaches.
Here's Peaches.
That's how we met.
Yes. So it was a little bit different for me. Brooklyn, what lived till a ripe old age. But at the end of her life, she really, really was struggling. She was having like a ton of seizures. And it was really bad. When she did pass, look at her. She's posing.
She's posing for everybody.
When she did pass, I really struggled.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter, who was 10 at the time, like felt like I needed to mourn. And honestly, like I said that my house, like it felt so wrong. It felt empty. Like I went from like, she was my everything. I mean, yes, I have children and they're my everything,
right.
But
different.
It's a different kind of everything, right?
They totally need you for everything.
Yeah. So, when she passed, it was just like, it was gut wrenching. I felt, and, my daughter was like, you're not healing. Like, you're not grieving properly, because I said, this is wrong. We need a dog in this house. And I said, everybody grieves differently. Like, the way you're grieving. And she felt that we should really be mourning her life and all. I said, it's different than the way that I'm grieving.
Right. Well, it's kind of, you should be celebrating the fact that she had such a wonderful life.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of grief for you. Yeah. Yeah. And that's how we met.
So then it was about a month later, I had reached out to Summer and I said, hey, I'm not ready to adopt a dog yet, but I really would love to help this breed. This is the breed that I love. And how can I help? And she was like, well, you can foster. And I was like, okay.
And we've been inseparable ever since, by the way.
That's been 5 years, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a long journey, actually, but
this is Peaches, in case you haven't realized.
This is Peaches. We'll talk a lot about her. She is actually very small for a bulldog.
Ton of health issues she had.
Yeah. Here, you
so in our later podcast,
Thank you.
we will definitely be addressing Peaches.
Yeah, and a
The
lot
journeys
of
that
issues.
have happened with her. She also is the owner of Penelope.
Who
Who's
is
over
in
there
the
on the
room,
floor.
but
She
she's
doesn't. She's the angel of
yeah.
bulldog.
She's the the reason that you get a bulldog, and then she's the reason that you
struggle.
She's the reason that you get a second bulldog, and she's the reason why
you stop at one.
Stop at one. No, but honestly, I mean Penelope. So when I should I tell Penelope's story? I don't know.
So Penelope came into the rescue. It was just a really horrible story. Someone had given her up to me, and they said that their vet kept saying she's too fat. You need to put her on a diet.
All of her vetting said obesity.
I mean,
and worms.
And
it
worms.
kept
And
saying
pages,
she had worms.
Pages and pages, right?
Oh,
Pages.
it was a thick medical
Plus, I took her
record.
to our amazing Dr. Infernuso, who just she
wasn't even 2
yeah,
yet.
she was like a year and a half.
She was a little over a year and a half, maybe like 20 months or something.
And he examined her and he was like, oh my gosh, like, are you kidding? She had a 17, I'm not kidding, we have pictures of it.
Yeah.
17-pound tumor inside of her. It literally, when he took it out,
attached to the floor, basically. He was sitting with it.
Right. He put it into a bucket.
Yeah.
And sent a picture. First, he held it up.
In the picture, I know.
It was insane. And these vets, and I remember he was so upset that he wanted to know who the vet was. He wanted to contact the vet and say, are you kidding? Like, how could you be so egregious with this? And anyway, the journey was with Ashley and her family.
Yeah. So
how could she give her up?
Like, secretly, right? My mom's name is Penelope.
Yeah.
My dog's name is now Penelope. But when she came into the rescue, my mom saw her posted as like, oh my God, this dog needs this emergency surgery. And my mom's like, she calls me. She's like, oh my God, you have to foster her. And I was like, Ma, okay, let me call. I call Summer. She goes, I can't do that to you. We really don't know what her outcome will be. We
thought it could have been cancer. We thought she was going to die.
Yeah.
And she had little kids.
Yeah.
And I knew she was just kind of getting, and I don't want to say getting over, because you never get over your dog. It's always in your heart. And it's part of you. But I knew that she was grieving still. And she was.
And just so everybody knows, she was not my first foster. She was probably foster number 6 for me.
Right.
So
she fostered a lot.
Yeah, I fostered a bunch before her. But
there was a connection.
When my mom called me, and then so something happened. So Summer had a foster lined up.
Yep.
And at the last minute, the foster canceled. And she called me. I mean, that happens too much, but she called me and she was like, I need you. Can you just hold her for one night until her surgery? And I was like, yes. And I slept on the floor with her that night, like literally on the floor.
Yep.
And then she went to surgery. And then when she made it out of surgery, he called me back and she said, any chance you want to foster her? Right.
Because we had gotten clean, when he saw it and what it was, even though we did send out a part of a biopsy, he felt very confident that this was just what it was. Like, it wasn't anything other than that. And he was also able to see that all of her liver, her kidneys, everything was back in place. It was functioning.
It's a good reason to spay and neuter your dogs, because it actually was attached to her ovaries. So, like, had this been
like, if they had spayed her, they would have seen that. Yeah. So, and that was, and then she never left.
She never left me again. Actually, she was going to be adopted, and then my daughter, who was the one against it, and to begin with, said, how could you let her leave this house?
Yeah.
She's like,
she's our family.
Literally,
family.
No. She said she literally follows you everywhere you go. And I said, yeah, you're right.
Right.
Like, I couldn't. She healed with us after her surgery.
Yeah, and it was a lot. It was a lot. Yeah, and she does. Like, literally, we're doing this podcast, and Penelope is there in a bed.
Should I turn the camera for you?
Watching us, not even taking her eyes off of.
Can you see
her? Right. Not even taking her eyes off of her mom.
Yeah,
and she's just she's just the sweetest thing ever. And the truth of the matter is, I think that dogs come to us for different reasons.
Yeah.
I started this journey so long ago. The last of my OGs just passed away. And I can't really say how I feel about really committing to another bulldog right now. I'm a little too hurt yet. They were all about the same age, so they were all about the 13-year age. So I knew they were all going to start passing at a certain time.
I think what's important to say here is that even
Right.
though Summer's talking about like saying like her original OGs, those are her like original bulldogs.
Right.
Summer cares for many bulldogs.
Yes.
Still,
My house has always has bulldogs in it.
100%.
Yes. So my house is not an empty house. I mean, there's no way. And I have the most amazing husband who, like, sometimes I don't know how he even gets himself out of the house in the morning. How's that? And of course, our home is really for the sick dogs or ones that are maybe coming
that's
out
what I was going to
really,
say. Like,
really hard surgery that we don't know if they're going to survive. And I don't want to put them out there to somebody for that really to happen to someone else. Yeah. But,
and I think that that's important to know. Like, Summer is the founder of this rescue, and I'm the adoption coordinator.
She's more than that.
But what I will say is, like, at the end of the day, it's like Summer will always step up for a dog. 1,000%. I mean, hands down. Like, with the sickest dogs, she'll never say no.
Thank you. And we've had a lot of loss in the rescue in the last few weeks. A lot of very sick dogs that came in and didn't make it, and those are always the really hard times because everyone always says to me, "Oh, well, you save so many. If one dies, no. That one dog will change me forever.
It takes a toll. It really does take a toll.
And you always think, did we not get to it quick enough? Did we not do the right thing? Did we not, So, this rabbit hole that we both went down. And Ashley's in it with, when I say that, like I'm like 11, 12 o'clock at night, I can pick up the phone if I'm having a really tough time, and she picks up no matter what. And she's more than an adoption coordinator. Number one is she's my best friend, but she's also like my right hand. I could never do this without her. I couldn't. I know I couldn't. So, and that's really kind of it. Do you have anything else to add about?
No, I think that the journey that got us here, is important to why we do what we do, and I think that we wouldn't, the journey that we each took, like, and getting here, we wouldn't have ever gotten into this breed. I mean, I know that they have a lot of health issues.
They do.
But there's really no breed like it.
They're so worth this, and they really are the most lovable dogs. They're the most loyal. I mean, everyone's going to say that about their breed. This is our breed.
Oh yeah, this is our breed.
Growing up, I had, oh my gosh, we had so many different kinds of dogs. We had Labs, we had Weimaraners, we had Irish Setters, we had Poodles. I love dogs. Obviously, my love for animals comes from my upbringing.
Yeah.
My family, everyone was lovers of animals.
Yeah.
So, and you too. You always had boxers.
I had a golden. I also rode horses when I was young, like that.
And your boxers were not always nice.
My golden wasn't nice. My boxer was nice.
One of the dogs was not.
Yeah.
And nobody turned them in. Nobody dumped them at a shelter.
No.
Nobody gave up on their dogs. It's just like a whole place that we're in right now with the phone calls that I get and the emails that I get every day on people turning their dogs in. I have to sometimes take a moment and say, I can't answer this email right now because I'm not really sure what my response will be. We never got rid of dogs because our kids grew up with our dogs. If there was an issue, we figured it out. Yeah. Okay. And we taught our kids to respect animals where those things didn't happen. So, this is kind of us, right? Yeah. Anything you want to add? How about you? We are going to at one of our podcasts address Peaches and some of the health issues that she went through. So we can talk about all the things that we want to.
Peaches is
talk
one of
about.
those special lilac merles,
Right.
which is the colors that she is. And so in making a bulldog these like not so natural colors, you do get some health issues with that.
Right.
So
Right.
she got some health issues. She is beautiful, and I know, she does have one blue eye, one greenish eye. But it doesn't come with the
And she's
the
healthy.
price-
You
the
don't hear
price.
her either now.
You don't hear her, but that was all
Surgery.
she had a lot of surgery. So she's good, she's healthy, and obviously we put a lot of time and effort into making sure that she's healthy. So
yeah.
But we'll talk about her at some point.
Right. So of course, you can comment. We will look at comments on this if you're watching it. If you're listening to it in your car, please feel free to email us.
What was your journey? Tell us your journey.
That's a good thing. Tell us your journey and how you got your first. If it's not a bulldog,
what's your breed?
Dog?
What's your breed?
Yep.
This is our breed, but it might not be your breed.
Right.
Also, like Summer has a lot of Frenchies too. So we're going to talk a lot about them.
Yeah, they're the newest, biggest headache.
Yeah, 100%.
Everyone wanted to obviously during COVID make a ton of money off these dogs, and now we're all seeing everything trickling down right now. But that's another.
That's another day of the podcast of the two blondes and their bullies.
But please reach out. You can either reach out to us by email, which is
you should be able to also comment. Yeah.
And you can comment on this because we're going to go back and watch the comments. And you could say, hey, this is my email or whatever you want to do, or reach out to the page.
Yeah.
And leave a message because we'd love to. We
have an Instagram and a Facebook. So feel free to join our pages. If you message us, we respond.
We will respond to you.
We respond always.
We respond to everybody.
Everyone.
We don't leave you hanging.
All right. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Like us, subscribe. Make sure you are back for the next episode.
Right.
Bye.
Thank you.